Good morning to all. As my colleagues have said it all, we have in finding the right fit, designing the solution, and implementation of the solution shouldn't end there. We think it mustn't end there. It's an investment and it has to count for a longer term. So, in making this count, we see that there's a takeoff. The takeoff is choosing the right fit as the right solution, which earlier on my colleague spoke about it. And even in speaking about choosing the right fit, she emphasized the need to sustain this right fit. Also with the solution design, which my colleagues also elaborated on, he also emphasizes the need to also make sure that it's not just about designing the solution, it's about how to make it work. And to the implementation as presented by Emmanuel, he also emphasized the need to make sure that all these investments are being used and just not left alone. So my submission is that do we leave the investments? No, we need to get returns on this infrastructure and these investments that we have made. So in order to sustain and benefit from these investments, there are various activities that one needs to subscribe to or one needs to undertake to enable us benefit from this infrastructure. And we have it in ranges of years. We have that starts from immediate implementation takes off to 2 years. We have that starts from 3 to 5 years. We have that starts from 5 years to 10 years. But there are certain points or certain support that runs through the implementation to whatever years you still have the kind of solution that you have found. For the ones that starts from 0 to 2 years, we have that of detailed training of users and administration. Technologies have changed the ways that we work now, and business have adapted to so much applications that one needs to understand what is the use of that particular application. It helps to maximize the efficiency at the right start. If a user doesn't understand what application that is being used, it causes human errors, it causes problems. So the first or the onset of the project, one has to understand what application is being deployed, so that in so doing, they all embrace the users of this particular one. And for the detailed training, it can be on request as the years go by, because as the years go by, we do refresh these systems, and every new deployment should be able to go with training of these end users. Also, we have that of the hand-holding of the technical team. Sometimes these deployments are new to the technical team within a particular place that we are providing the solution. How do we guide them? How do we help them to be able to troubleshoot when there's a problem, and before they even call to us, they have even gone a step ahead to find what is actually going on before they get to us. It helps us all be stakeholders of these particular applications that we have deployed. Also, we have services or support services that can be done at all the stages, but it's so important from when we implement to whatever time that the solution will last, and that is the on-demand support. When you have an on-demand support, it helps limit your downtime. For instance, if you have a disruption in the connectivity in a bank, it becomes catastrophic. What happens? You need to get a support that will be able to give you a less responsive time to get all these things back on track for business to go on, which increases productivity. For a call center, if the call center solution cuts off, what do? You need an on-demand support with good responsive time to be able to help make sure that all these things come on board so that operations can go on smoothly. From the video, doctor said that during the COVID time, there were cameras that helped them monitor these patients rather than being closer to them. So imagine if these cameras go off and we don't have any support, what happens? Definitely is going to be catastrophic. So at any point in time, we need to support these investments that we have committed time and cost and resources to. Also, we have support that we can do from the onset of the project, but it is primarily good when we do those things from 3 to 5 years or as and when it comes out. That is the software updates. Even currently in our day-to-day lives, we have our phones prompting us to do updates. We have computers or our PCs prompting us to do updates. Imagine you don't do an update, and there's a time that you need to use your computer, and it's not being able to synchronize with other applications. What do you do? Then you need to go back to what you forgot to do and do it well. Also, in software updates, it helps us to get the greatest and the latest. When you when you continually update your software, it helps you get the updated features of whatever application that you have invested into. Also, whilst we are busy investing into technologies, others are busy also investing into hacking these technologies. So there's therefore the need to update your software to make sure that these investments are secured. Also, we have that could be done from the onset of the project, but primarily we think that it can be done periodically, and that is the routine and preventive maintenance. Do we wait for a fault to applications before we maintain the system? Absolutely not. We need to periodically inspect these infrastructure and also be able to update the licenses of these applications that we have invested to. It helps increase the lifespan of these infrastructures. And for these routine preventive maintenances and software, this can be enshrined in customable service level agreements with whoever solution provider that we have subscribed to. It could be that we will have a scheduled maintenance for your particular setup as to it being monthly, even quarterly. Also, when there's a service failure, what's the response time? When there's a fault, how then do we respond to these things? So for the longer term, we have upgrades. Upgrades could be done from 3 to 5 years and 5 to 10 years. It's probably like refreshing your system. And this system also upgrades like a human being. There's a time that you need to refresh your system. Make sure that you become a bit flexible to ensure that other systems can interact with the system that you currently use. So these upgrades help us to maximize the use of whatever system we have. Sometimes these upgrades involve major change in our hardwares, like CPU change, major software upgrades. That helps optimize the use of these applications that we have invested into. Another short or long-term range of support is the expansion. As the company grows, we should be able to suggest things that will make them vibrant, and also technology to changes, it's not static. So all these things needs to be done. And also the last support system is system integration. After you have committed all these investments in all these applications, how do we make them talk to themselves? How do we make them communicate to themselves so that we can reduce costs, so that it can be an increase in flow of information? There's a need to be able to have a service provider who will be able to integrate these systems together. For instance, how do you integrate your call system or your call solution with the social media? This, when it's being done, helps you to be able to serve and provide high-level services to your people, your customers. And having done all this, it's also imperative that you know what service provider that you have to choose. These are the key attributes that you need to look out for in choosing a service provider. In building your relationship with the service provider, there is the need to know, is your service provider responsive? Most of the things that is being done now in businesses are over-reliance on technology. When there's a break in technology, what do you do? There's supposed to be a service provider who is responsive to your needs, who is always available to provide solutions at any time for you to be able to get your systems back on track. Your systems provider should be consistent. Your systems provider should be very flexible in that businesses grow, so they should be able to grow with you, not a rigid systems provider who gives you a contract and is never ready to alter it once your business has changed. Professionalism. Your systems provider should be that is competent, which is solution oriented. A systems provider that will be able to take your feedbacks on whatever they have been able to offer to you. That will be able to make sure that there are systems in place to take your faults and make sure that these faults are repaired and giving you much feedback. Also, you need to get a systems provider with integrity, delivering whatever they promise. And also, your system provider definitely has to be reliable, one that you can call on at any time. So after all these things, we asked, what's next? The next decision is our commitment. Have you been able to update your software of late? Have you subscribed to any SLAs that helps you maintain the infrastructure that you have committed your money and resources into? These infrastructures and applications are very vital, and we think that we should be able to commit and make sure that it works for a longer period.
We've been with Seatec for the better part of 15 years. Like every partner in everything, we've had our up days and bad days, but I can only say that our up days have been far, far more than our bad days. If I were to put a ratio to it, we've had a 95% smooth sailing with Seatec. We wouldn't change Seatec for any other service provider.
The technician on hand was George, which obviously me and him have a very good relationship. I call him any day, anytime. He really be of helpful. All time I call because we were all doing the thing together at the same time. We all have our challenges, so it became like a friendship thing where I called him any day, anytime with any challenge whatsoever. He's there 24/7 to assist and make sure the deployment of the solution was on point.
So I was talking about the foundations of the GIDC, that it was built with the IT infrastructure in mind. And I must say that we are grateful to the funders and to Seatec, the company that delivered the IT infrastructure. Our relationship with Seatec has continued even after the handing over of the project. I must say that Seatec, they've been quite consistent. Whenever we have a problem and we approach them, their turnaround time, for me at the moment, is second to none. I believe that because we want to grow, we can always count on Seatec, and they're very innovative company, so we can count on them to expand the horizons when it comes to IT and health.
The Seatec team have been easy to work with. Their professionalism, their technical expertise, and then their prompt response to complaints when you call on them is unmatchable. I think I would say Seatec is just an extension of our IT department because they are always there to support us, which they have done from every step of the way. I think anyone who needs an IT project, IT infrastructure or IT solution should call on Seatec. I think they are the best.
So they take off all our telecom solutions and must confess their customer services on point. I always say after sales is always the most important bit. And they are always there when we call them for servicing. We don't need to even call them. They are the ones who go like, oh, servicing is due these dates. When are we available for the guys to come in? When we call them at any time that we have an issue, the turnaround is so quick. And I think that, I've been here for just about a year. I'm very impressed with their service level delivery. For our telephone infrastructure, it was all provided by Seatec. Our IP phones were all provided by Seatec, and we've not had any major issues with them. And when it comes to servicing, they are always prompt. They actually initiate the servicing, and then we confirm when the people come in.
So I think the most important thing is not about receiving the equipment. It's really about how you are supported to implement and to learn how to use it, and also to be able to have a way to communicate if there's any problems with the equipment. So the after sales service was really good. it wasn't them about just getting the money and then going, but they were very keen to understand. And they also send us surveys, satisfaction surveys, so we are able to give feedback on the relationship.